Brothers and sisters, once again you are welcome to the True Word channel. I always inform you that the True Word channel is a YouTube channel that brings us nothing but the truth. And today we are delving straight into prayer. Yes, there are times we ask ourselves why prayers are not working. What does prayer really mean? Why do we have to pray? And also the faith. Is prayer really what can get us through our difficulties or our life? And I bring you the answers. I am Eric Padiboso. So let's delve straight into what prayer is, and then the type of prayer we need, and the limitations of the church. Where the church is supposed to groom us to a level where we reach and then our prayers can work. But unfortunately, the church is not trying to get us to that level. So we'll get straight into this point, and at the end of the lesson, we all know the value of prayer. Jesus said we should pray without ceasing. Yes, we have to continue praying. It's true. We need to pray. Prayer is what our soul, that is what we feed the soul. We don't just live as Christians or as believers, but we also need prayer in our lives. So let's get into it. So we have prayer. We all know that prayer is a communication to the universe, to God, about what we want in our life or what we want to communicate to the Most High or our higher self, or align our higher self into the realms of the Most High, so that whatever we think or we feel or we need can be granted unto us. But if we are not able to align ourselves into that level, we will not be able to tap into the realm of the Most High, or what exactly the universe or the position or the place that the universe wants us to be, so that whatever we need, we'll be able to receive. So it's a communication. We communicate to, or we put our high selves into, we put, so it's a way of putting our higher self in alignment with the universe, or let's say the Most High. In order to get our requests granted. Yes. So this is prayer. It's a way of putting our high self in alignment with the universe or the Most High in order to get our request granted. So we have to put ourselves, we have to align ourselves with the universe, the Most High, in order to get our request granted. So it's a way of putting our higher self. Now, we have our lower self, which is the physical body, the physical realm, which is so the lower self is our physical body or bodies that exists in the three dimensional world. Yes. So every human being, we have our lower self, which is our physical body that exists, our physical body that exists in the three-dimensional world. So the three-dimensional world is our physical appearance, what we see, what we can feel, what we can touch. That is the three-dimensional world. And our lower self exists in this three-dimensional world. That is, we've been born through woman, we grow up with life in us as humans. We breathe, we eat, we sleep, we wake up, we think, we take decisions, we do so many things. All these things happen in the three-dimensional world. Now, our higher self, our higher self, so our higher self is the part of us that exists in the five dimensional world. Our higher self is the part of us that exists in the five-dimensional world. In other words, the spiritual world. So, and beyond, uh, five-dimensional world and beyond. And in other words, it is the spiritual world. The spiritual world. Now, when we love prayer more than physical things, then we are trying to connect our higher self into the five-dimensional world. Don't forget everything that happens in life that we come, that is shown or that comes to existence in the our lower world, which is the three dimension, also has already been planned, has been strategized, and also been monitored and been allowed before it appears in the 5D, which is the five-dimensional world, before it appears in the lower world, which is the three-dimensional world. So some of the time before something happens, you will have somebody talking to you about it. You may have a dream about it. You may discern about it before it may happen. So this is where a lot of things happen before it comes into the lower world, which is the three-dimensional world. Yeah, so we must take note that everything that happens in the physical world already takes place in the spiritual world. So nothing is just a coincidence. Everything is being planned, strategized, and then monitored before it happens, whether it is a good thing or a bad thing. So sometimes we may dream about it, sometimes we may discern about it, sometimes our intuitions will tell us about something that is coming or something that is happening before it will really happen. This is why when you are manifesting something, or you are thinking bad, or you are thinking negative about something, or you are feeling that something is about to happen to you, it is your higher self that is trying to communicate to you before it happens here. And when you always thinking about something, you are putting that energy into the universe. So that whatever you are putting into the universe returns to you. Yes, returns it to you. So the spiritual side, which is the higher dimensional, which is the five dimensional, it is where prayer works mostly because prayer is a spiritual connection to the Most High. Prayer is a spiritual connection. So the more you pray, the more lighter you become. And in this five-dimensional world, you will become lighter. You are not weighted. You are becoming lighter. And the more lighter you become, the more you make yourself inaccessible to spirits. Yes. The more lighter you come, the higher you go, the more inaccessible you make yourself unaccessible you make yourself to spirits and also to people who are being sent by spirits or who are possessed by spirits. The more lower, eating, drinking, having affairs, normal life routines, love of money, all sort of things, all happen in the lower self, material world. So the more we are accelerating in the lower world, which is the three-dimensional world, then our spiritual, our higher self is decreasing. It doesn't move in a level. They don't operate on a level ground. They operate in diverse grounds. The more this spiritual higher self is moving up, the lower self is coming down. And when the lower self is moving up, the higher self is coming down. So this is what prayer does. So the more we pray, the more we raise our vibrations into our higher self. The more we become more conscious about things that are happening or about to happen in our life. Now, somebody may ask, why is it that my prayers is not being answered, or my prayers is not being heard? It will be like you have been praying for something for so long, or you pray for something not to happen, but it is happening, or you pray for something, but you are receiving the opposite of what you are praying for. You pray for money, all of a sudden you are not getting money. You pray for health, all of a sudden you are not getting better. Yes, it's because the way we put ourselves, the level of which we rank in the spirit, that will guarantee the amount of energies that we'll be able to accumulate and then also be able to manifest whatever we need. If our vibrational level is very low, which is the lower world, which is the 3D world, our prayers will not be answered the way we want it. It will take also too long time, and manifestation will be so difficult because spirits and authorities that work in the higher dimension may be manipulating whatever we are asking for. You know, Daniel prayed a lot in the Bible. Daniel prayed a lot, and to a certain extent, it is being manipulated somewhere higher. So the Lord have to send a strong force to penetrate into those forces to be able to allow the link between God and Daniel so that the prayers can be answered. Because when he prayed, the request hangs somewhere. It doesn't get to the higher place. And when the answer, if he's able to get there and the answer supposed to come, it also come to hang in the 5D world. It doesn't get to him on the 3D world. So this blockage is there. That is why it's very important to connect to the higher self first before the lower self. We don't be in the lower self and expect things to happen. We have to be in the higher self to make sure we push things by force to be able to work in our favor. So now we come back again that why is it that our prayers are not working or we are not working the way we want it to work? Now, we have to leave the 3D world into the 5D world. We have to raise our vibrations so high. We have to live in or tap into our higher self. When we are able to tap into our higher self, then we can be able to command. Let's take biblical reference. When we go to one of our prophets, which is Prophet Elijah, we all know Elijah prayed and fire came from heaven down to earth to consume a sacrifice and also whatever it is around it. Now, Elijah was a prophet. His name or his title so was a prophet. His title alone does not give him the power. His title of being prophet does not give him the power. So the same way, you can be a teacher, you can be a prophet, you can be a healer, you can be anything in the house of God or naturally given. But if are not able to work on yourself, if you are not able to do the hard work, you will not be able to tap into your higher self, into the 5 dimensional world. You cannot be able to tap into that world. Yes, because the 3 dimension is the lower world. Things don't manifest from there. Things manifest in the higher world before it comes into physical dimension, which is the 3D world. So our world or our way of prayer should be able to start from the 5D. Now, the prophet Elijah, when we take a look at his life, we find out that he has not been somebody who mingles so much with the crowd. In other words, he does a lot of isolation. Now, God cannot deal with you fully when you are in the crowd, when you are still in your family house, when you are still enjoying living the same life that you are living, when you are falling in love, when you are always in the enticement of the 3D world. God cannot deal with you because the physical world is an enmity to the spirit. So they don't balance. The way this one goes up and then the other one goes down. So it keep moving that way. Now, Abraham, our father Abraham, we all know that he has also been asked to move out of his father's house because in his father's house there is always food, there's always drink, there's always happiness, there's always enjoyment. Life seems okay. They were following traditions. And eventually, Abraham will also have to follow the same tradition, get married, give birth to kids, and live the normal life. No change, nothing. So God said, get out of your father's house and go to a land I'll show you. That place is like an isolation. There is no house there, there's no city there, there's nothing there. It's a bare land. You have to start your life. You have to live your life. God has to take you out of the crowd, send you to an isolation land where nobody is there. Then He can have direct connection and communication with you. Or we take Moses, for example. God asked him to move, and he moved. When he moved, the first miracle he encountered with God is that he have seen or come to encounter with a burning bush. And that is where the voice of the Lord came and said, where you are is a holy ground. Where you are is a holy ground. So isolation is very, very important. So Prophet Elijah, when we take his life, we will find out that he did not live too much of family life, love life, happiness, friends, and so on. No, he's always in the desert, he's always alone, he's always having connection with God. So with this, he's able to raise his vibration from the 3D world to the 5D world and higher. That is why he's able to command. So when we go into the Bible, we'll find out that a lot of people prayed and they got answer. Jesus said, whatever you ask, I will give. But unfortunately, the church did not teach us, the church did not teach us how do we put ourselves into the position to be able to pray so that we will receive the needed answers. The church refused to teach us that. But then you have to work on yourself. The church need to teach us that we need to work on ourselves. We need to fast more. We need to pray more. We need to be isolated more. We need to separate ourselves from the 3D world more. We need to get uh, connected to our higher self more than in the physical world. So the church is not able to teach us all these isolations these prophets did to be able to raise their vibration to a higher realm so that their powers can be able to manifest. That whatever they say will work. The church did not teach us to raise our vibration so high. So when you follow only the normal words of God or the words spoken by our teachers, which is from the Bible, we will just live a normal life. We can't move beyond that. Jesus also said that pray without ceasing. Then he also taught us that our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. When we go into that prayer, give us this day our daily bread. Jesus only taught us the way to pray. Now, our daily bread is what we need every day as a normal human being. In the 3D world, we only need our daily bread. We don't need something more than that. But when we think that no, when we come to realization and the consciousness that, or the awakening that no, we need more than what we have, which is, or what we can have, which is the daily bread that Jesus Christ has talked about, then we need to work. Prophet Elijah, in other words, at his time of existence, he was existing and other prophets were existing, but he was renounced. He was far ahead of most of them. Some of the prophets, we did not even hear their miracle. We didn't hear anything much about them. But Elijah, we heard so much about him because he put in the hard work. So for the fact that you are a prophet, you are being called by God or by the Most High or by universe for a specific assignment, does not mean that automatically you will have the power to command. No. The fact that you become a Christian doesn't mean that you will become powerful. It doesn't work that way. You have to put in the work. You have to put in a very strong work. So Elijah was existing, other prophets were existing, but then he worked on himself. So when we take the words of Jesus Christ, who said that, give us this day our daily bread, that is the basis of life. That is for survival. And many people, or throughout the world history, we found out that people who really are innovators, people who bring a lot of changes to the world, people who bring so many things that we accept today and we are using, they are not people that were living under the normal life. They were people who think beyond the normal life. They were people who created, who sacrificed their life so much. All the technologies we are using today, people sacrifice their lives. People just don't live on the normal life level or daily bread level to become who they become or to get into where they are. You can never get into where you want to be when you are on the normal level, which is the 3D world, which is our daily bread level. You need to think beyond the daily bread. You need to decide whether you want to remain at this level of daily bread, which is the 3D world, or you want to raise your vibration to a higher level so that you can manifest, you can create your own world. In in reality, the 5D will help us to create our own world. When you take all the billionaires in the world, they did not just accept what is being thrown to them. They did not just take the normal life that we live. They put in so much work into themselves. They were not partying with friends and families and loved ones and so on and so forth and expect big results. Some of them kept themselves in isolation for so many years to be able to come out with what we have today. They have to stop the enjoyment, they have to put stop to the loves, they have to put stop to the eatings, the drinkings, and all sort of family lives and family connections and so many things to be able to meet where they are today. So without the work, you will not be able to get to where you want to be. Without putting in the work, you cannot get into where the Bible talks about ask and it shall be given unto you. You have to put in this strong work to be able to come out victoriously. Then now, when you command, it will take place. It doesn't need repetition of words all the time. When you are praying, you need to get into a point where the devil have to be scared of you. You have to get to a point where he have to say, yes, sir. You have to get to a point where you have to talk to universe like a business partner. You put in what you want. You talk your feelings. You talk boldly to God. And God responds to you in a right way. And it doesn't take too much time for that to happen. But when we remain in our three-dimensional level, we have to keep praying over one thing for years. The same way, when we take Joseph, the life of Joseph, we find out that Joseph put in a whole lot of work. He have to pass through a lot of difficulties. through his family, his brothers, then prison, from prison straight to a prime minister. He didn't just stand up or accept this. His challenges came when he had to give in and sleep with Potiphar's wife. But he said, no, my assignment is bigger than that. My visions are bigger than that. So no to this kind of temptation. Even if it will take me my life, I am ready. Daniel put in the same effort when he's supposed to subdue to foreign gods. He said, no, I will always be with the Almighty God. Even if it will cost my life, I will always listen to God. And eventually, God came in. Jesus himself put in a lot of work. When the devil took him so high after fasting for 30 days, 30 nights, the devil, 40 days, 40 nights, the devil took him so high and asked, show him all the good things in the world and said, when you bow to me, I'll give you all this. But Jesus said, no, it is the Lord your God alone you have to serve. So, without putting in the work, we cannot get into our higher self. So, Prophet Elijah commanded fire from heaven and it came down. The same way we Christians have to reach a point where we need to command. We don't always have to be asking and crying and mourning. We have to stand strongly and command. And our commandment will manifest immediately. I have personal experience of how you have to grow, die off, rebirth, walk out of the ashes, rise up, and then tap into your higher self. And then you'll see that there's a difference between when you pray in the 3D world and then also when you are praying in the 5D world. The 5D world doesn't take too much time for your answers to come. The 5D world doesn't take too much effort. Even you can just communicate, you can even whisper, and it will start working. Unlike the 3D world, where we will always have pressure, you have to put in a lot of effort. Before you get something, you have to put in a lot of effort. In the 5D world, it doesn't work like that because you also become a master. So when you become a master, you also manifest your own life, the way you want it to be. What exactly do you want your life to be? You manifest it. You create your own life. In the 3D world, you close all the cycles of poverty, the cycles of manipulation, the cycles of betrayal, the cycles of karmic debts, and all that. You close all those cycles. So when you raise to the 5D world, you are now a new generation. You are now creating your new world, how you want it to be, and that is how your world is going to follow. We'll be going back to uh, the different worlds, the 3D world and also the 5D world, and also beyond that. So, as Christians, before we can command, we need to put ourselves into a certain position. We need to work on ourselves. We can't grow when we are following only the programs of the church. We can't grow when we are always going around the same cycle. We have to break the cycle. The way we worship, the way we sleep, the way we eat, the way we learn, the way we work. Our life is going around the same cycle. We need to break that cycle and be able to introduce new things into our lives. Then change can happen. When we take our parents' life, some of them we can see that they only come to live, build house, work, take care of us, and they die. Nobody hear about them. It's a normal life. And we are also following the same pattern. Sleep, eat, work, build, live your life, go away. Nobody will hear about us. But when we are able to break that cycle, and how do we break the cycle? We need to realize that the life we are living is not or might not be what we were brought here to live. If we are able to identify the problem, then we can be able to find solution to the problem. The life we have come, what is our purpose? We need to start asking the important questions. Why are we here? So when we begin to ask ourselves, why are we here? What is our assignment? Why are we being brought into this life? What assignment are we supposed to take on and accomplish? When we begin to ask ourselves these deep questions, then now we begin to wake up. So we begin to find answers to why we are here. If you are able to find the reason why you are here, I don't think you have to go and be praying 1,000 hours for something that is not in alignment with your path. Everybody has their unique and special path. If you know your path, your divine path, there is no way you go and have million tons of prayers. You pray to align yourself, or you do the work and you pray in accordance to your path. For example, if you are a healer and you are in the path of praying for evangelism, there are two different paths. You are made a healer, so you have to be able to pray in alignment with healing. You need discernments, you need teachings, you need powers, you need gifts that will accompany your path, so that, and spirits, angels, who will be able to accompany you, direct you through your path. But when you move away from your path, you don't really know why you are here, and you go and fall into a different path, and you are moving, wandering all over. You may not find your path, and your prayers may not be answered. But when you find our path, why are we here? We are able to find the answer to this question. Then now, what kind of prayer or what kind of work do I have to work on myself to be able to maintain or to be able to be in this path? Because if you are not in that path, the spirits that are being given to support you, to teach you, to lead you, will not be able to get connected to you. So you see that anytime you are moving, things are not falling in place because you are on the wrong path. You are not on the right path. But when you fall on the right path, you know when to pray. You know when to read the Word of God. You know when to go out. You know when to keep in. You know when to mingle with people. You know the kind of people you need to move with, and people who have not any good thing for you. And you also know what serves your higher self and what does not. And you begin to shade off what does not serve your higher self or your higher interest. So when you're able to fall into your path, you know that when I'm going to pray, I'm going to pray about healing. So you'll know where to pray, how to pray, and when to pray. Then you are on your path. The spirits you're supposed to engage with, the angels you're supposed to engage with, then they will be able to lead you and your spirit team to be able to move you through that path to become the master of who you're supposed to be. Then you can be able to do your work. Yes. So we have different paths. So when we are able to identify that, then our prayer can be short. And if it will be long, it will be in alignment with our higher self and in our with our path. So this brings us to one part of prayer. I hope it helped all of us so that we'll be able to know how to work on ourselves. Isolation learning prayer, fasting, and all that has a lot of work to do with us. We don't have to be living in the 3D world, in the lower vibrational world, and expect higher results. Our prayer must be purposeful and must be in alignment with our purpose in life, our divine assignments, our divine paths. If our prayers are not in alignment with our divine paths, it creates a lot of confusion because you are adding sand into gari. It will be difficult for you to eat. But when you get sugar and you add to eat gari, you can easily eat and be okay. So that is the way it works. In the lower life, which is the 3D world, we can't manifest things. But in the higher world, which is the 5D world and above, we'll be able to manifest the kind of life we want. So it is our choice. We don't just have to go and spend hours praying, expecting results. We need to know who we are, why are we here, and what is our path, and what kind of spirits, angels, and spirit teams that's supposed to work with us to be able to move and get to where we're supposed to be. When we are able to do that, then our prayers will be answered, just as Prophet Elijah commanded fire from heaven, and it did happen. Thank you very much.